What's up, cuties? My stand-up comedy show, Foreigner, is coming back to LA July 18th at the VIRGIL, 8 p.m. We got Andrea Jin, Ali Kober, Carmen Christopher, and more. It's going to be an amazing time, so get tickets at FUMI'S or the episode description below. Hope to see you there.
Cash Cuties, welcome to another episode of Cash Cuties with Fumi, and Steffie Bake. Hi guys.
Yeah. New intro, baby. New intro. Guess what, y'all? We don't have money to hire a musician, so I just Venmo'd Steffie $5 and I made her sing. That's what that is. Thank you so much.
It's not true. Don't believe him. I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh.
How are you, man?
I'm good, dude. I'm good. It's we're still on Zoom because you're a little sick, and I'm not trying to get sick. So
no one's trying to get sick.
No one's trying to get sick, but
been quarantining my ass just in case. I came out negative, but being careful because I know those things can be faulty.
That's really responsible of you because I'll be honest, like towards the end of COVID-ish vibes, if I had a cough or something, I'd be like, I don't give a fuck. And I feel like I just would go out, you know?
Oh
I feel
my
like
God.
I didn't have COVID, but I think after COVID, we should all just be a little bit more into masks and, you know, quarantine if you have a cold because you don't want to give it to people. But yes, I think that's really good because towards the end I was getting a little Republican vibes for sure.
Yeah, no, I think that most of my friends, I've had some weird responses. Like mostly it's not like, I hope you feel better. Oh, I'm sorry. I got a couple of those, right? Mostly it's like, what? That's still going around? It's what? Does it even matter? Who cares? What? Yeah, it's so who gives a shit now? And I do not want to be responsible for someone's death. That's really what it is. I'm scared someone's gonna like die.
Yo, I wonder what the COVID death numbers are now, you know?
Oh yeah, that's a good number.
I mean, I'm sure people are still dying. It's just no one talks. Remember at the height of the pandemic, every day it was like 1,000, 20,000. You know, like every day, like CNN would just be the most depressing thing ever.
If you're listening on your Apple Pod app, please leave us a review, hit follow on Spotify, and sub to our YouTube channel for the video version of this podcast. All the links are available in the episode description below.
Help us grow, you guys. I mean, you know, we're a completely independent podcast. We're not with a network. It's just me and Steffie against the world. So, you know what I'm saying? Tell your friends about it. Post about it. Please hit the follow button, review, all that shit. Real quick, we want to give a shout out to our newest Dono Daddy. These are people who give us money on Patreon. It is the best way to support this podcast. And in return, you get bonus episodes. Right now, we have 2 bonus episodes and a bunch of weird videos that Steffie's posting as a character. And it's a good time. So sign up.
They're fun.
They're great. So sign up at patreon.com/cashcutiespod if you want that. And also a shout out on the podcast. This week, we just have one person, Meryl H. $5.
Hell yeah. Let's go, Meryl. Thank you so much for that.
Let's go, baby.
We're, again, not working right now. This is our work. There is no money out there right now. As you know, we are in the industry. Everything's on strike. So this is what we're doing with our lives, you know?
And you know what?
So
I've seen some people complain on YouTube. And by some people, I mean one person was like, there's too many ads. But you know what? I mean, you're not giving us money. You're not giving us
these
money.
People.
Listen, I would be happy to not do ads if we made a lot of Patreon money.
Nobody wants ads.
No, I mean, I don't want the ads either on YouTube, but it's just like, well, if no one's paying us money, then we have to do it. And I hope it's not like too crazy. I think it's just one in the beginning and one in the middle or something like that. So it's fine. I watch ads on YouTube all the time when I want to watch my videos, you know, so it's fine.
When do you read, every time I mention something, you're like, don't read those comments. You're like, oh.
Well, I don't want to read them. But I see them because I'm the one who like uploads on YouTube. I just see it on a notification sometimes. So like, if I'll read like the first 3 words, and if it's negative, I just close my eyes because I don't want to read it. But if it's like neutral, I'll read it. I think this guy was a fan or something. It's fine. You know, this week we wanted to do like a little mini topic. We're gonna cover a couple things. We're gonna cover the finances of my upcoming comedy tour. But before we do that, instead of asking each other how we're doing financially, today I thought it would be fun to just pick our brains a little bit about what are things that Steph and I do that are considered socially unacceptable ways to save money. We are cheapos. I mean, despite the fact it's so weird that we're both cheapos because it's not weird that I'm a cheapo, but like, I feel your vibe is very like I want the most luxurious experience. And we all want that, but on the inside, you're just like me, baby. You know what I'm saying? You love stealing ketchup packets from McDonald's and like,
it's ranch corners. For me, honey. Yes, ranch for me. I have it in all my bags. I have one in my. I like the ones actually, the buttermilk ranch ones from Jack in the Box.
You steal those?
Oh, it's not stealing. They're free.
They're condiments.
They're condiments. They're like my condoms, though. You won't find condoms. You'll find condiments. You'll just find ranch. You'll find ranch packets in every glove compartment, every pocket. Fucking ranch galore. Put that shit on everything. Yeah, that's how I feel.
Okay, so Steffie, you were telling me earlier about something you started doing recently that is very socially unacceptable. In terms of
not recently, money. I used to do this.
Oh, sorry. You recently told me this story, but it happened a long time ago. Tell us what's going on.
There's a few ways that are socially unacceptable that I have not told anyone any of this about. One of the things is, it's not that big of a deal. So when I was living in my apartment in New York, I had toilet issues, right? The sinky thing, the little mechanical thing wasn't working. And
sinky thing?
The little thing that like bobs up after you flush and then it needs to fill up the tank. Do you know what I'm talking about? That thing was broken and it was like leaking. So what I did is I covered that with metal foil with tissue. Not tissue, napkins from Costco. I had an abundance of Costco napkins. You guys know what I'm talking about. The Kirkland ones when you go to you decide to go to like one picnic or one bonfire and you're like the napkin person. You end up buying like fucking like 6 bundles of napkin paper. Anyways, that's what I was using. But the landlord came and was like, hey, you shouldn't be... he had to fix that, right? But he was like, hey, are you using napkins? You can't be using napkins in the toilet. It's going to clog it up. It's not. And I was like, no, I'm not obviously I'm not using it for that. I was using it to fix the little issue. And he's like, oh, okay. Didn't ask a question. But that made me even more like, well, I don't know. There's something about it. Someone tells me not to do something. I'm like, but why? It actually was okay with the toilet. That wasn't why the little mechanical thing wasn't working. So I really, really wanted to get through all the toilet paper, all the other napkins. I've had that pack for so long that I was like, I need to get rid of it. And so that's what I used. I used napkins for probably 7 months.
No.
Yeah. I was trying to get those. Dude, I'm telling you, they last. And they're kind of soft. They're not as rough.
Dude.
They have like this, the flower imprints, when they're imprinted. And so, and I, what else I would do? Of course I don't want to mess up the toilet. Like I'm not going to do that. That would be annoying. So I made sure it's like almost, if you were to imagine, it's 4-ply. It's like 4 layers because it's one large triangle that's like folded. You know what I mean? Like twice, 2 times. And so it became like almost 4 stacks. So I would rip it in half and use it to wipe.
Okay. I have so many questions. So just to make it clear, you're using the toilet paper because you had this abundance of napkins and you ran out of toilet paper. You're like, why don't we just use these napkins as toilet paper? That's what's happening. So you're using it to wipe your pee. You're using it to wipe your ass.
Yeah.
And you did this
I would
for
use 4-ply.
months.
I have to use the whole thing for the...
Okay. I mean, I'm not like
to be honest.
I'm not an actual plumber, so I really have no idea what I'm talking about, but I feel like that damages the pipes. I have no idea. I mean, if you didn't have issues for 7 months... then maybe it's fine. I'm sure somewhere, maybe it's not causing an issue in your apartment, but somewhere down the poop line, you're causing some issue.
Really?
You know what I'm saying?
Is it like one of those...
That's why they tell you not to flush anything else other than toilet paper, because that shit dissolves or whatever.
Look, there was no way I was going through... Nobody in their right mind needs that much napkins from Costco. There was no way I was going to throw that shit out. My Asian parents... No. Anytime there's napkins, that shit isn't going anywhere. It's either in the car, or I have to use it. And there was just no way I was using that in the kitchen. So you know what? I made a decision to do that. Okay. I just.
Okay. Two questions. One, did anyone like you live with or like your boyfriend at the time know you were doing this?
Yes.
And what did they say about it?
They had to use it too. There was no option.
There
was no option. I was like, if anyone questioned, I was like, are you going to get me toilet paper? You know what I mean?
Wow.
But nobody, you know what? Toilet paper is one of those things. Like if you live with somebody, it's annoying. It's an errand. Having to get toilet paper is an errand. Nobody wants to spend the money on it and deal with
of course,
the separation of the money and all that. Anyone I'm dating, of course, they're not gonna like go buy me fucking toilet paper. So that was one
way
I would save money.
I feel like first of all, everyone I hope has wiped their ass with a napkin at one point in their life, because we've all shat in places where you're not supposed to for emergencies. And it's funny you bring up the flower print, because out of the times I have shat like in places I'm not supposed to, or run out of toilet paper and have to use something else, and I've used napkins. Every time we had napkins, like my mom always just had like. Yeah, bought like the cute ones that sometimes like would have smell nice or have flowers. Yeah, and I remember as I was wiping my ass, I would wipe. There's like shit on the nice flowers, and I would feel so guilty that I'm wiping my ass with something like really nice and quality. And,
like the Hello Kitty. You're talking about those little Hello Kitty. There's like shit on Hello Kitty.
There's like anime shit
Pinocchio.
On it. Yeah, there's like Disney characters on it, and I'm like wiping my diarrhea with my. I remember like, other than the financial thing, I remember feeling very guilty about it, because
that's funny.
You know, you're like putting it through this whole fucking thing. So I don't know if you ever dealt with that, or if you're just like, no, I deserve flour on my ass or whatever.
That's fucking Kirkland, baby.
Yeah,
it's Kirkland. I already know what quality. I just know it's.
You already know Kirkland. What it is.
I know what it is. I'm not thinking about that. So I didn't have issues with like a fucking SpongeBob. Can you imagine some SpongeBob? I wouldn't use those. I couldn't use SpongeBob napkins.
I know it really to me it felt like throwing away a birthday card. You know what that feels like? Wiping your ass with like a Disney character napkin really feels off. Like I feel like I'm going to hell.
That's so funny.
You know?
Yeah, that it should only be praised and put in like situations of glory.
Yeah, like wiping your face with, because there's birthday cake on it. Happy mess. You know, happy messes. But it's not for like a 33-year-old man's digestive remains.
Anyways, that's one way I kind of did that. That was a little whatever. And nothing was wrong with the toilet. No one's ever said anything.
I mean, I would love her. I feel like our listeners they're asking a lot of questions right now. So let us know what you think about Steffie wiping her ass with some napkins. And also, if there's any plumbers out there, if there's any plumber cuties, let us know what kind of damage this could have.
I guess I just think that it's like, I don't know what's going down there, you know? But I've definitely, don't tell me this hasn't happened. You've had to have shits that are harder than stone. Like, you just know they're bricks coming out. There's no way the tissue paper is not disintegrating before your heavy ass loads or your
shit.
thick.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's just no way.
You've done the calculation.
Yeah, of course. I've had 7 months to think about the potential effects of this.
No, absolutely.
But anyways, that's one way. You want to give us a situation for yourself that's socially unacceptable?
I don't know if it's called stealing, but I used to work at a restaurant, and so afterwards, like I used to work at a Japanese restaurant in college, and I lived in a dorm, and I didn't have a kitchen, and I just wanted like things I could eat, you know, immediately. So after our shifts, we would have some rice left over. That's sort of been like sitting there for kind of a long time. It's not like the best quality rice, but I would like take saran wrap and then like make a gigantic rice ball, probably the size of like my head, with it, and then I would shove that in my bag and just take it home. So I stole like some foods.
Wait, did they know? Did they know you were taking this rice?
I don't know if they knew / cared. I think I just felt bad about like wasting food, but like you'd have to eat it immediately because it's been sitting in there like all day. So it's not like you have to kind of eat it. It's only for like unhoused people and perhaps college kids. Like I was 19 when I was doing this.
Yeah, he probably, even if they found out you were stealing, they'd be like, I feel like they would turn a blind eye and be like, this kid must really need fries.
I know. Well, I think with things that are already cooked that have an expiration date, I think it's okay. But I did used to do this thing where it wasn't okay. We had do you know what Calpico is?
Oh my God, yes. So amazing.
We had Calpico there, but like not like the bottle of Calpico, but like the concentrate,
the one in the paper box.
Yes, like a milk.
Yeah. Oh hell yeah.
I loved that shit, so I would like sometimes I would steal that after work. I don't love stealing, but I think when I steal from like corporate, I don't mind as much. But there's also something fucking so cool about like consuming stolen shit, because you're like, I didn't pay any money for this. You know what I mean? I remember in high school, like I paid a kid to steal a Game Boy Advance for me because I didn't want to do it, so I paid a kid to do it, and I felt so fucking cool because I only paid like $20 or something for it. As opposed to paying $100 or whatever. So it does feel good. I don't know. You know what? I'm thinking so far this segment has been like, I'm Steffi and I wipe my ass with napkins. And I'm just like, I steal Calpicos. This is not where I thought this.
We've had like people come on our podcast and be like, we steal cars.
I know, we steal cars. I do drugs and we're like...
we can't wipe our butts with tissue with Hello Kitty on it. God,
okay.
Bunch of bitches.
I know. The only other thing I actually this is kind of like bad, but like so when I was at my company, you could expense meals if you worked past 6 or if you worked on the weekend. Overtime, you can expense meals. And so like I would eat out a lot, and I would just every month I would look at my Mint and I'd be like, I don't want to pay for this. And I would just put it on the company expense sheet and be like, oh, I worked overtime or whatever. So like every month I would have like, $200 to $300 worth of food credit back to me because my company would pay for it or whatever. I think companies are much stricter now, but like that's like the only like real stealing that I've done.
Okay, I think a lot of people relate to this.
Yeah.
The way I felt like I was taking or getting paid fairly by my company, who takes big commission cuts, is, printing like a crap load of shit. Anything I needed to print.
Oh, yeah,
anyone,
yeah.
my friends, my family members, anyone needed to print. I was the girl. I printed Harry Potter.
The book?
PDF, yeah.
Dude, that's such a college student move. Is like you don't want to buy a textbook, so you print the PDF of like an entire like Western civilization textbook or whatever. Yeah. That's so funny.
Yeah, that's how I felt justified for all the fucking work I had to do.
I love that. I imagine you like doing a deal with your clients and they're flipping through and you're like, oh, all the numbers look good. All the numbers look good. Prisoner of Azkaban. What the fuck?
There are some embarrassing things our parents would do that we would never talk about with our family members that I think that a lot of them would relate. I think Asian people would relate. Like we would take a shit ton of at church or anywhere, like they had like those Asian newspapers. We would take those and use it as lining to line our cat litter. There was, I don't know if you remember this, there was a time where they were saying that if you use newspaper to clean windows with Windex, it's better than tissue paper.
I remember that.
Do you remember that?
I vaguely remember that. What was that? So was that debunked?
I don't, there was a time where they were trying to use they were trying to throw luxury toilet paper and tissue on us, meaning they were more like thick and fibrous and soft, but when you clean the windows with those paper towels, they would leave little filaments, like little hairy dust shit. So I have no idea. Maybe newspaper sales were low. Maybe this is during like the .com shit. They were like, we need to get these numbers up. And so they somehow pushed this idea. But I remember all the Asian families just had a shit ton of newspapers, but we did this thing. And I remember it worked. Like it kept like so our funny. Glass, everything super clean.
That's really nice. I really like that. Yeah, I feel like this isn't too embarrassing. My mom would always steal slippers from airplanes, and then we would wear the fuck out of those in her house. And they're not designed to be worn for a long time, so they would fall apart within like a day. But we would still just have it, like, because I think it's, You know what it is? I think sometimes, because if you really look at the composition of an airplane slipper, so there's the cheapest cloth, and once you rip it open, it's just cardboard. It's just cardboard. So, but there's something about, even if it's cheap and made in China for like 2 cents, it looks like something that's expensive, right? Like slippers are kind of expensive. It looks expensive, and so I feel bad throwing it away.
Yeah.
So I think that's where it came from. Is like,
you also paid like
can't.
$1,000 for a plane ticket, so there's some money. There's some value to this Japan airline fucking
Slippers,
slipper that you're like, okay, I'm getting that experience, that luxury kind of like experience you get on a plane when those things feel really nice. But I love that that there's tissue, there's like that cardboard at the bottom, because that means
just paper.
It's
just fucking paper.
Yeah, it means you've tripped on them the way I've tripped on them.
Yeah.
After taking it outside and getting a little fucking wet, like whatever on it.
It's crazy. Did you guys ever steal spoons from like Korean Airlines or whatever? Like, cause like if they during the meal they give you like a silver spoon.
Yeah.
We had a lot of Japan Airlines spoons.
Oh my
God. A lot. It always said Jal on it, and I didn't really understand what's happening when I was younger. And then I was like, oh, we've been just like stealing these, because it was the perfect size for yogurt, because like kind of small.
Tiny.
So you wouldn't use it to like eat curry, but they're designed for like small airplane food, so for like yogurts and stuff.
For
so
tiny,
we had a lot of
tiny Japanese businessmen.
Shout out
their
to
little
Japan
mouths. There was a time, I don't know if you did this, not from my childhood, but we would take toilet paper. I know I keep bringing it back to toilets.
Yeah.
Like a couple years later, when I moved somewhere else, me and my roommate we would steal toilet paper if we didn't have toilet paper, because no one wanted to like pay for it. It was annoying.
From where?
So we would go to New York. Is like any toilet you went to, they're always crowded because there's like no space in New York. So every shop is toilet paper. There was no like other place you could put your toilet paper, like in LA. They have like other places you could store things. This was like usually right in front of you, under you, or above you, in your little toilet stall. So anytime we saw toilet paper, we would put it in our little tote bags and go. But it became such a thing for so many years with my roommate that even when I see her now, she's one of my best friends, I would I bring one. Like I'll find one and I'll bring it.
I will say the thing about stealing toilet paper from New York City restaurants is that a lot of them, it's that green brand that's so fucking thin. It is as thin as one of those like Asian like door screen things. You can like kind of see through it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so I don't like using those kind of toilet paper, because you have to like use a lot to like go into your ass with it, and so it's not a good quality toilet paper. So yes, you're stealing it, getting for free, but it's like at a certain point you're like, should I just buy regular toilet paper, like a regular Charmin or whatever, because it's just like that I can, because then you can use like two squares for your excrements, as opposed to like literally a fourth of the entire roll just to wipe up some piss, like.
I get you as a man. I get what you're saying.
Yes.
As a woman.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is true, because I haven't really talked to my girlfriends about this, but I know that my family, we would buy Scott's. I don't know if you know Scott's toilet paper.
I know Scott's. It's not that good.
No, hold on. It's expensive though. And do you want to know why?
Why?
I think because the reason why we buy this stuff is because it's, how I told you, like, there was a time where all these like fancy toilet papers that are soft on the tush that bears would use, that shit, little lint gets stuck in your woohoo.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I don't know how you know that about your woohoo, but what do you mean? On your asshole?
On my ass.
Your little ass. You know what I'm talking about, right? The little lint.
My little ass. How do you know? I have a big ass, Steffi.
No, you have a little asshole, okay? He's got a tight little ass. Okay, we got to take that out. I think that's problematic. Unless you consent to what I just said. Consent right now, Fumi.
Okay, consent. Okay, go.
Anyways, that shit gets stuck. Like, we're all day constantly wiping our fucking piss. And we gotta piss and wipe all day. Fucking after sex, you gotta fucking wipe and piss, and because you don't want to get a UTI, whatever. You gotta drink a lot of water because that's how you stay youthful. So you gotta piss more, clean that shit up.
Yeah.
The lint gets stuck in there, and it piles up. It gets gross in there.
And piles up in there.
Yes. So the great thing about Scott's is that there's no fucking lint. It's just thin, so you have to double layer. But there's no lint left over. It's not like there's pieces of it feels as if like imagine there being like cotton pads just like stuck in your yoo-hoo, like with encrusted in like fucking piss and like vaginal juices and like fucking period excrement. You know what I mean? Like this is why Scott's toilet paper comes to the rescue.
Thank you so much for saying this because I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't have a vagina. I have an asshole, and like whenever I'm showering or like if I go to wipe again a second time if I shit a second time during the day, I do notice it, and it's like really annoying. Also, sometimes like I'll use like one of those Charmins, like I'll wipe my penis with it if I pee, and I get little.
Wait,
lints.
what? Is that a thing?
So if I like to use toilet paper when I pee, like especially when I'm home. Like in public, if I'm using the urinal, I just shake it off. But the thing is, like even when you shake it off, there's still pee on your dick. That's the truth.
Yeah.
That's the god honest truth. Yeah. And so if I'm at home, I'll like just take one and like wipe it so that it's all gone.
Wait, is it like? Could you describe how you do it?
I take one square, and then I like fold it. And I do origami with it. Like I form the 4, and then you would think that I'm about to jerk off.
Do you make the box? You make the origami box again?
And then I sort of dip it.
Oh, you dab it. Like you dab it kind of like those oil absorbent tissue.
I do this with my penis.
Okay.
So, but I notice when I use the brands you're talking about, not the Scott's, but the Bear ones, I get like little lints on my dick, and then I don't like it. But I feel you. That's why I started buying this one brand called Angel Soft. And they're between Scott's and Charmin. Like it's not super thick like Charmin, but it's not like literally non-existent kind of like Scott's. It's in between, and I like it, and it doesn't stick on your dick or pussy. And I think you should get that one. They should sponsor us. It's called Angel Soft. It's got a little baby angel.
Charmin. Although if you want to sponsor us, I'll take that out.
Yeah.
Angel Soft. I'm down to try it out.
Try that out. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Aren't they smaller rolls?
They're not as thick as Charmin, so like you're gonna go through them faster. But like it's worth it because it's not Scott's. Because Scott's, yes, there's no lint, but it is a little. It can be
thin,
sharp. It can be sharp sometimes.
Yeah.
Tough material.
Yes.
Angel Soft is like Angel Soft. Like you'll go through it faster, but it's worth it. It's great.
I'm excited to share this with my family. Well, I gotta test it out first, and I'll let you know.
Oh God! All right, that was great.
That's funny.
That was great. We learned so much.
Something can I say one that I recently realized is like I don't know how you feel about this. Okay, so I took my friend to McDonald's and we got soft serve.
Love that.
Great, right?
Great.
I always have to use a coupon when I go to fast food places. So I have the app, naturally. Mm-hmm. You could get points with the McDonald's app. So I have accumulated enough points to get free food, like free ice cream. It was my turn to buy my friend dessert because, he paid for dessert some other time or coffee or something, right? So I take him through the drive-thru and I get the ice cream and I get him an ice cream, but I use a coupon for one of them. Mm-hmm. And he turns and he's like, a coupon, huh? He's like, still can't pay for me. And I was like, internally annoyed. I even was like, what? Is that not count as paying?
Wait. So just because you guys take turns buying each other like
little things. Like it's not like we're not really counting.
Right. And he's saying it doesn't count because you used the coupon /app.
He was jokingly being like that. Like he's not actually pissed or anything, I don't think. But he didn't mention it. It did kind of like, but it irked me. Maybe it's more about me. It made me wonder, I think it felt like he was calling me cheap. But I didn't know if it was because using a coupon. What do you think about that? What do you think about that?
Okay, well, do you remember like in an earlier episode you talked about you went on a date and the guy paid for?
Yes.
Is this not the same thing?
No, because it's not a coupon that I accumulate. I got those points by buying a shit ton of that's my to-go is number 2, the double.
Hell yeah.
Or the filet-o-fish, whatever. Accumulated enough points to be able to get free food for us. You know what I mean? Like, I did something. Like, those points didn't just come out of, like, fucking thin air.
Right. Okay, so are you saying on that date, the sushi date that you went on, if he used a punch card instead, you would have been, like, okay with it? Or I guess, like, maybe it's not the same.
You know what? I kind of think it would have been funny. Maybe because I can relate to it. Like, I think I would have been like, oh, that's funny because I would do that.
But, you know, if you reach down to the sushi thing, and I'll bring it back to the McDonald's thing in just a second, but the sushi thing, I think for you, your complaint was like, it's a gift card, so somebody else must have given it to you, so it's like, you're not buying me the thing. And I think your friend with the McDonald's is saying the same thing, where it's like, McDonald's is buying me this ice cream, not Steffi. That's the point he's trying to make. It's like, I want you to pay for it, for my time.
I don't think, right? I get what you're saying. I don't think he was aware of the amount of work it takes to get points and the amount of money I spent all that time drive-thrus to get my food to make sure he got his goddamn ice cream. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I also think context is everything, right? This is fucking fast food. Your friend needs to chill the fuck out, okay? Honestly, if you're going to McDonald's and paying full price, there's something wrong with you, okay? If you're not using some kind of coupon or some fake email address to get like one free scoop of ice cream, okay? That's how you tackle a corporation like McDonald's.
Yes.
That's how we deal with it, okay?
Yes.
You don't pay full price.
Thank you. We are talking the same language. So you do this. Are you a user of the app, or do you just not eat McDonald's?
I don't really eat fast food that much, and when I do, because it's so infrequent, I don't even know about the app, so I don't do that.
Why does that sound so pretentious to me? Anyone that says they don't eat fast food is so pretentious to me, because you're so fucking healthy and eating so good for you and being a good boy and blah blah blah. It annoys me.
Can I challenge that? Okay, here's my take. I think when people are like, it's so healthier. I mean, yeah, like fast food is like terrible for you. We know that. It's like really bad for you. So there's one. Also, I didn't eat a lot of it. It's kind of like, so I would say fast food, alcohol are two things that like I just didn't have a lot of it growing up. I didn't drink that much. My parents don't drink that much, and we didn't go to that many fast food restaurants unless we were doing a road trip, right? And so because of that, from a chemical standpoint, my body does not crave fast food or alcohol. I don't want it like you do. So I'm not judging you for going. I just simply, like, some people drink every day, right? And they're not alcoholics. They want a beer. I never want a beer. I never want one. You know what I mean? But my weakness is like I like sweets. I love cake. Like the second Maria left from New York, I went to Whole Foods and I got a banana cream pie for myself.
Okay.
Like, that's my
That's
thing.
Hilarious. What I hear you say is that I am actually my body is chemically attracted to trash, which makes me trash.
Yeah, you're chemically trash.
I hear what you're saying. All I hear you say is that I'm trash. I consume trash because my body is trash.
That's where I'm coming from a scientific.
To be honest, I want to be you. I want to have never experienced this thing. It is a goal. It is amazing to feel that if I could be vegan, my life would be changed. That, like, you know, my gut, my IBS, my concrete shits I take.
Yeah, that's all from the fucking double, bro. That's from the double cheeseburger, man. Every time I eat McDonald's, like, something is up. Something is up with my digestive system, you know?
Yeah, that's a normal body. Mine's like never has, like, but it doesn't really have issues.
Do you know what I mean by that craving? Like, do you have that McDonald's craving?
I do for a lot. I have it for ranch. I have it for French fries. I have it for In-N-Out. I have it for filet-o-fish. I have it.
That's a chemical. That's a chemical thing.
Okay, can I show you what I'm drinking right now? Drinking a Gatorade lemon lime because I believe it is what God has created to fix sicknesses. Only yellow flavor though. That's the only one that helps. And then a Diet Coke because that also somehow fixes you. So that's
it's so funny.
What am I?
Okay, it's so funny because you're West Coast Asian and you're very in touch with your Asian American roots, your Korean American roots.
Thank you.
Your Japanese American roots. You know what I'm saying? You're very in touch with it because I think a lot of people who grew up in California, they're just sort of used to Asians and Mexicans being around, and I feel like I've always had a real complex about that being a Midwest person. But now that I talk to you, you drinking a fucking Diet Coke when you're sick, you're so fucking American in ways that I am not. We on the outside, maybe you seem more Asian or whatever, and I don't, but on the inside, holy fucking shit, dude. Gatorade and Diet Coke when you're sick, that's, what is your mom name? Fucking Meredith or something? This is crazy. That is some white American shit, dude. My mom will wrap a scallion around my neck and get me one of those Pocari sweat drinks. You know what I'm saying? That's my vibe. Pocari. That was your thing. That's Pocari, but it's the same. It's the Japanese Gatorade. It's the same thing. We just don't use food coloring. It's the same thing.
That's hilarious. That's amazing. No. Is that the remedy that your parents... Can you tell me another remedy? Pocari, what else did your parents do to you?
Well, when I was a kid, my mom would wrap long onion around my neck.
Oh, you were not joking.
No, I'm being dead serious.
Wait, hold on. You had a fucking scallion scarf around your fucking neck?
You know the Asian scallions that are it's big?
Yes, bro.
Yeah, so you should wrap it around my neck like a scarf. And I guess I don't really know. This is mom science. It's not real. I don't really know why I did that. I never questioned it because I was 6 and I was I guess when you're sick you put fucking onions around your neck or whatever.
Shut the fuck. This is amazing.
I know.
We need to make onion scarves. No, that's our fucking merch.
It's scarves that smell like onion and it keeps keeps germs away.
I don't know if it smells like onion, but it looks like they're gonna look like onions.
Oh, look like scallions. That's really cute. That's so cute.
That's so cute.
That's so cute.
That is so cute. Okay. It seems like everyone is going through layoffs these days, Fumi. Did you notice that?
Yeah, it's mad scary.
If that's you, listen up. You might be entitled to more rights than you know.
When you get laid off, your employer is probably going to make you sign an NDA before they finalize your layoff, and your company is going to pressure you to sign this document and tell you that if you don't, they're not going to give you your final paycheck. But you should talk to a professional before doing so.
Did you know that you can negotiate your severance pay? Do not accept it right away. It is tempting, but they're going to lay you off, so you need to get as much as you can.
There's also something called the Wage Transparency Law that just passed in March of 2023, which allows you to freely discuss your compensation with your coworkers out in the open to see if you are getting paid around the same or if there's some sort of wage discrimination. You need to know your worth.
If you have any questions about employment issues or layoffs, contact Brianna Kim PC, your Korean lawyer friend, and get some advice. She works on contingencies, so it's free until your case is won. Go to KoreanLawyerFriend.com or leave a voicemail at 714-482-6301. Don't forget to mention Cash Cuties when you reach out. So Fumi has a big tour coming up, and it's his first comedy tour, guys. That he is one of the funniest motherfuckers I know. Japanese motherfuckers, and the crowd goes wild. I had a best friend, I told you this, go to your show who is not in the industry, and I asked, there was a lineup of 8 fucking people, and I said, who was the funniest? And she said, I'm not saying this because you guys have a podcast together. Fumi was the funniest.
Hey,
and let's go. He has a comedy tour, his first ever comedy tour, and he might be coming to your city. So naturally, I had to know, how much money is this motherfucker gonna make?
This is where it gets really sad. This is
where we don't have to tell them. We don't have to tell them yet. I need to know how much you're gonna make, how much money you've put in, how much effort you've put into this, and the cities you're going to. Let the people know so they could come to the show. The Cash Cuties want to know.
Yes. So I've broken this down. So I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 4. Technically, I'm doing 6 cities, but one is. Oh, sorry. Technically, I'm doing 5 cities, but one is LA, and then the Vegas one is too far in advance, so I didn't do the math on that one yet. So I have here like sort of the financial breakdowns of the 4 cities that I'm doing / have done, and it's, you know, whenever I post about stuff like this, people are like, congratulations on your tour. People don't realize, like, I'm an indie comedian, okay? I set everything up by myself. I'm the one calling venues. I'm the one, like, renting spaces, like, putting down a deposit to, like, rent a space. And then it's, like, ultimately 100% up to me to fill that space so that I don't lose money. So I think a lot of people know I do comedy. Steffie's been to a bunch of my shows. It might be interesting to go over, like, how much I'm making or whatever. So let's start with LA. I had a show on the June 20th, I think, and it wasn't like my headlining show. It's just a show that I do every month with my friend Isa, who's been on the podcast, and just to show you like sort of what the finances are. There's a lot of shitty venue deals in LA, but I found an okay one at the Virgil, which is where we do it. So basically at the Virgil, it's you pay a $350 rental fee to the venue, and then you get to keep everything else. So we sell tickets at $20 each. And at that particular show, we sold 93 tickets. So
wow.
we made $1,860. $1,860 is what we're working with. But then I got to pay comedians, right? So we paid them I think we're like 40 or 50 each. So I think it was like 150 for comedians total. And then typically we have a photographer, which is like another 100 or 200 or whatever. We didn't have one this time. And then I split it with my co-host Isa. So that show I made $695 just for that one show.
That's amazing for one show. That's not bad. That to me sounds great if you could make that in like a day and have fun while doing it. And like, I didn't realize, like, when you say tour, I had no idea. This is something I just knew, just learned, is that when people go on tour, a tour isn't like your own show. Sometimes it could just be attached to some other show or another festival. And then you just like, that could still be part of the tour of going to the city, right? Like that's...
Yeah, that could. With that said, all the other shows is me headlining, doing an hour. Okay. The LA one, I just added because I wanted to add more dates on my flyer because it looked really sad with just 3 cities. So I was like, I'm just going to include LA, you know?
Yeah.
So that's LA's bad. And you got to remember with LA, I don't have expenses. I live here. I don't have to pay for Ubers. I don't have to fly. So that's why I made $695. So that's not bad, right? New York City, here are the breakdowns for New York City. The deal with the venue is 85% to the artist after $160 house fee. And they have tickets up to, their capacity is 100. So I actually sold that show out at $20. So that's $2,000 minus 160 times 0.85. So that comes out to about $1,564 is what I'm making that night. But then I got to pay my open. But you know, they didn't fly me out or anything, right? So you got to remember, like, I got to pay my opener. So that's $100 gone, right? Uh-huh. And then flight to LA to New York City. I actually had points this time, luckily, so it's $0. But typically this would be like another $500, right? Yeah. And then lodging, I'm staying with some friends, so that's $0. And then I'm guessing with like Ubers and trains, I'm gonna be there for like 2 days. I'm guessing maybe like $200. That might be, you know, the Uber to and from the airport is kind of expensive, so that's mainly what that is. And then like food and drink, I'm gonna catch up with friends and stuff like that, so it's probably another $200. So net, I'm estimated to make about $1,000 on the.
Okay. Did you know that? Yeah. Did you know that off the, I think the ACE or the AC? I don't know where you're staying. That there is an airport thing that you could take. Like if you don't have a bunch of bags, the trade. Yeah. Do you? You know that?
I take that. Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, I've been taking that ever since I haven't worked full time. But I'm talking about like when I go, like just to go to LAX from my house here and back is $100. You know, because I don't want to take my car to the airport. So like that's kind of annoying. So making about $1,000, and you know, if I had to pay for the flight, that'd be like $500. You know, so it's, if you really think about it, that's not that much money. You know, but. So that's New York. That's my best case scenario. Toronto, their deal is 70-30 split. And so, again, I'm responsible for bringing every single person out at these shows. No one's helping me market this, right? So far, I've sold about 66 tickets. That's about $23.10 Canadian dollars. 70% of that is 1,600 Canadian dollars, which comes up to about 1,200 USD. Lodging, I'm staying at the producer's house, so it's free. The flight, I had some points, so I only paid $89 for the flight, and then Uber and stuff like that. I'm probably gonna spend like $150. Food and drinks probably $100. So I'm probably gonna make like $880 on the Toronto one.
Okay.
So that's okay, right?
So we need to sell more. We need to get Toronto people to come to the show. Come on, guys, come purchase the tickets. There's a few tickets left.
And then Seattle, which I was really excited about. This was the worst one. So I sold out, which I'm really happy about because I was scared about it. But their cap is 65 people. So I sold at $20 each. So I made $1,300. But the venue rental was $350. And then I'm staying at a friend's house for free. But the round trip flight was $440. Wow. And then for Ubers, I'm guessing I'm going to spend like $250. I'm sort of over calculating here just to be safe, but like food and drinks probably $200 because I'm gonna see some friends. I gotta pay my opener like $100. So for that one, I'm making negative $40 for Seattle. Yeah, so
you can make that money. Yeah. Okay.
I'm trying to look at it holistically, but like this is sort of like what the math that I have to do every time I go somewhere. It's like, is this worth it? And if I'm not making at least like 500, it's like I could just stay here. So it's hard sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's around 2,000, a little over 2,400, something like that. 2,400.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
That's not bad at all, dude. That's great for a month. That's like equivalent to like doing a show, like a, what do you call those? If like an office or a company hired us to do
like a corporate gig.
A corporate gig.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
For something like that, but you also get exposure like crazy, and you get to experience and travel. And
I think like, we talked a little bit about this on the third episode or whatever when we had Dylan McKeever on, but like, like some of these dates obviously don't make financially right. Like I'm losing money when I go to Seattle, but like I think I've been just doing it for almost 10 years, and like I like doing an hour, and no one else has given me the opportunity to do an hour. So I'm like sort of making opportunities on my own. So like, I know that this isn't like the best way to make money. Like to your point, Steffi, like we made, $2K each doing that corporate gig for 1 hour, right? I have to do 4 days to make the same amount of money, So like, is it the best way to make money? No, but like, it's something I like. It's a milestone that I want to reach. To be able to do an hour, and it's just something I've always wanted to tour. When I started comedy, I was like, I want to go on tour one day.
Yeah,
and it's cool to be able to just do
so
it by
proud
myself,
of you. That's so sick. There is something really satisfying about doing something on your own as the leader. Like you are leading your own trail, your own path, and putting together something that's specifically meaningful to you, and you could really have the most control over it, and you don't have to like lean on anyone or do certain things a certain way that, even if you had a partner, you might have to feel those things with. So that's freaking great. That's really exciting.
I mean, looking at these numbers, like what are your first thoughts? Like, did you think I'd be making less? Did you think I'd be making more?
I actually didn't really know how it worked, but this is more, I think, than I thought. Because the way you made it sound was like, I'm not making anything. Like I'm barely breaking even. So this to me, I'm like, oh, that's great. Like even if you made like $500, I'd be like, that's awesome. Like in the end, you're also going to have all this material to like put on your socials, and like you can utilize the experiences for other ways after. So it's we're not thinking of just financially. We're thinking about it as for your career. Like how are you? What are you? And your soul. Like you're also like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like I'm gonna tape all this, right? And if something funny happens, I can post it. And if that goes viral, I get more fans. So like you're right. Like yes, I'm making negative $40 in Seattle, but I'm trying not to think about it like that. I'm trying to think of it as like I'm just gonna do a really fun show for an hour where it's all me and funny things are gonna happen, and I'm gonna capture that and hopefully share it with everybody else. But like to be honest, like selling some of these tickets, it's like it's only possible because of like a lot of it is from the podcast, this one and the one I used to have, like a lot of podcast people come through and they buy tickets. And that's the thing is like, sometimes you're like, oh, I only have 30 fans in Seattle, but you don't realize that like no one comes to a comedy show alone. So if 30 people are down, they're gonna bring a friend or two, right?
Hell
so it's really
yeah.
that's actually 60 to 90 people. So that's like what I realized. I was like, oh, I can't sell out Seattle, but I sold that shit out like literally like a week ago, and I still have like another week. I could probably do a second show if I wanted to.
Yeah, and you better convert those people into cash cuties.
I know. I mean, I plug the fuck out of it whenever I'm doing live stuff. But,
That's
yeah,
awesome,
I don't
man.
know.
That's really cool.
It's nice. Yeah, it's nice to like. This was a good exercise because I really did think I was making no money, but
This is cool, man.
But also, like, thanks to Chase Sapphire for like sponsoring half of this. Like, I'm not paying for half the flights, which is why, because if I pay for the flight, this is like minus probably $700 from the whole
Oh, okay. I thought you meant you got a real sponsor. You're saying the wait. Did you
travel
transfer?
rewards program.
Did you You did transfer the ticket points, right, to get more points?
Say that again. What do you mean?
To get flights, you transferred the points from your Chase Reserve portal. You transferred those to like a different like airline, like to Delta.
No, I actually buy directly on the Chase website.
No,
is that bad?
Have you not learned anything from this podcast?
Why is that bad?
Bro, you could double those points. I've literally told you about this. Oh my God, I'm so pissed right now.
I haven't looked into this, so I don't know. But is that true? You get double the points?
Yes! Bro! Dude, I can't believe this is like...
You never said that. You never taught me this. You never taught me this.
Oh my... Oh, Cash Cuties, I've come to my rescue right now. And
okay, tell me.
Fucking, you're gonna get spanked, Fumi. I am so pissed right now. I'm so pissed.
Okay, tell me. What am I doing wrong? Okay.
I have been talking about... Remember when I got points for my card and I told you about all the point systems that you were obviously not paying attention to? You have to transfer those points from your portal to a sister or brother company that works with Chase, like either Delta. I don't know what the company is for you. British Airways, whatever. And then you get double the points when you transfer it and use the points to get claim your tickets.
Wait, it's double every
So like if you
time?
say that you had 500 points on your portal, it could have been 1,000 points for the same price for a ticket.
Is that for every airline or like certain?
No, only the ones that Chase's specifically partners with.
Oh.
But you could have gotten more. Oh my God, man.
That's crazy. Because I thought I was doing the right thing because when you buy it from the Chase portal, you get 3 times points from buying it. So like if I, like the $80 that I paid, I get 3 times points on that. So I was like, I guess it's not so bad. But I need to look into that because if you get double, then it's definitely worth it.
You could have done both. You could have gotten the points plus you could have gotten probably the thing you're talking about. I don't know what you're...
I didn't fucking know this, Steffi. I don't know what the... Because I remember that episode because you're talking about the American Express thing. And I just thought you were saying like you buy it through American Express because you get more points. I didn't really know.
No, you transfer it.
I'm going to look into this.
This is like the biggest, what do you call it? Like, trick. Loophole in the game of points is about the flights and the extra points you get when you... Bro, if anyone this podcast, one thing you need to get out of this is that you need to use your points more assertively. Yes. And that means getting to know... Okay, this is crazy. You better Google this shit.
I'm not gonna lie, this is the first time you yelled on the podcast, so I know I'm really upsetting you.
I'm doing it out of love, just like my mom would say. I'm yelling at you out of love, so you learn.
Oh God, fuck! I didn't know that. Okay, well that's good to know because I'm gonna continue this tour. I'm gonna do Chicago sometime, and then I'm gonna try to do Vancouver too. So I will definitely be transferring my points. I didn't fucking know that.
Fucking rack up those points again. Oh,
you gotta be my tour manager, dude.
I know. I actually think I'd be a good man. I've always said this. I said this like at a party. I was like, damn, I'm like a manager. I can manage people. And they're like, don't say that. Don't put that into the world because then that's all you're gonna become is a manager. I was like, what?
Hey, that's not a bad thing, but also like we all like in today's age, like we all have to manage ourselves. Until you're Scarlett Johansson.
So
you understand?
True.
Like don't act like that's not a part of your life. Like we are...
I love managers. I think managers
we are the
fucking
talent,
dope.
the marketer, the PR. I'm a fucking I have like my own video production company pretty much because I have to edit everything that I do. So I don't think that's a bad thing. If you have managerial instincts, that's a great thing.
No, it means that you're savvy as fuck and a boss.
God damn,
That's
this made me
cool,
sad.
man.
I need to get off this podcast immediately so I can Google this because I feel like I've been bamboozled.
I'm sorry.
I've been bamboozled.
No,
you
you
don't
know
have
what?
to apologize. This is good information.
Okay, I feel more bad because I yelled because like I felt enraged on our pod.
No. I meant yell as in it was like a funny yell, and I knew you were yelling because the Zoom, because I'm talking to you on Zoom. It like your audio cut out, so I'm like, you're going above what Zoom can handle. You're going above what the machines can handle.
Am I going above what you can handle, Fumi? Because I want to make sure that this is going into your fucking brain.
God
Just absorb it all. Okay, well, now, in the future, now you know. Now you know.
This is why you guys got to follow this podcast. There's a lot of hidden good tips in this podcast. If you can get past the talk about lint on your vagina, if you can just get past that, there's a lot of gold in these episodes. You just have to get past the image of me wiping my ass with a SpongeBob napkin, and then you're golden. Anyways,
that was fun to know. You fucking killed it. I'm happy to know that you're making money and you're gonna. It's inspiring. I think it's inspiring other people to quit their day jobs too. Maybe become comedians.
It's
you
like
can
there's
make
a lot
money
of
in this industry.
I guess like my point with this tour is like you don't have to be like, I think a lot of people think you have to be like a Mark Zuckerberg or like a Tiffany Haddish or like the icons of that industry to make a living. It's like, no, dude, I'm fucking indie. No one's ever heard of me, and I'm selling out small venues in major cities. Like, you can do this. Anyone can do this, and there's a lot of money. There's a lot of money in live, which is like what keeps the hope alive. So, anyways, in conclusion, please come see me. Toronto, the first show is sold out, but my second 10 p.m. show is not sold out. So please come through. If you see Steffi on the streets in LA, give her some toilet paper because you know that vag is full of paper. Okay, her vag.
Only like, yeah, give me some Angel Soft or
Angel Soft.
Scots. Don't TP anything. I just want the whole roll. Yeah. That's a waste.
Get the whole roll. Anyways, that was amazing. Quick
awesome.
shout out to our sound engineer Domago and video editor Matthias. Thank you so much. We love hearing about your spending habits. So if you want us to answer your question on the podcast about money, please hit us up at cashcutiespodcast@gmail.com. And tell us about what financial topics.
Yeah, and send us a voicemail to our emails at cashcuties@gmail.com as well. Make sure to leave us any questions you may have, financial questions, life questions. Should you spend your money on this or that question? Send it to us. We actually read it, and we like to talk about it.
Yes,
if it's we do.
Please follow us on all the socials at Cash Cuties Pod on TikTok and Instagram. I'm also on there at the Fumi Abe. That's TheFumiAbe.
Go to my Instagram. Give me a follow at Baked Goods BAIKGUDS, or go to my website steffiebait.com. Send me an email, whatever you want to do.
Hit us up. Hit us up. And Cat Cuties, thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next week. And until then, spend your money wisely.
Or don't. Have fun with it.